That's it. Nice to be here.
Great. Ricardo?
Well, I'm Ricardo. I live at São Vicente, south coast from São Paulo. Is the first city of Brazil. And well, I'm married. I have a daughter and 2 cats, Quindim and Pudim. And well, I love watching movies, hang out with my friends and family, walk on the beach sometimes, and play some sports sometimes. I think that's it. How about you, Bruna?
I'm Bruna. I live in Brasilia. I'm married. I have 2 sons. I think your Ricardo name is cat. It's so delicious, no? Quindim pudim. Oh my gosh! For this hour in the morning, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Let me see more. I work with public service. Sometimes have a strike, but I will tell more.
One of them.
Oh, oh my gosh. So cute.
I don't know what
That's
to say.
Quindim. That's
Yeah,
Quindim.
yeah,
I
exactly.
knew because the color.
Exactly. I don't know what you say folgado in English.
It
Lazy
depends on
boy.
the
Lazy
depends on
bone.
the context.
Lazy bone is more preguiçoso.
Yeah.
It's
Go ahead,
lazy.
please. Bruna. Yeah,
So
could be.
that's it. I work in the public service. Sometimes have a strike, but I will talk more in the other questions. That's it.
Okay, great. So I am Atamis. I'm a dietitian, and I have a cat. No, I have a dog. And the name a cat. I would like to have a cat, but my dog doesn't like other animals much. So yeah, he was traumatized when he was a puppy. When we adopted him, he was like reacting to other animals. So we are working on this. My dog, his name is Farofa.
Difficult to explain to the foreigners.
Yeah, sometimes people call him falafel. It's farofa, not falafel. So that's it. Yeah, and I like this name because I really like farofa and I miss farofa a lot, the dish. And people here, they cannot say properly, so this amuses me. So people say farofa, and yeah, so I make fun of this sometimes. Anyway, let's start question number 1. What image are in your mind? Like, you can describe the image you have when you hear the word strike. Bruna, you said about strike. Can you start with you?
Well, I imagine a lot of people in front of the bank holding up placards and shouting with megaphones and with electric trio. Sometimes that's it. In the video that you showed, it's not common in the Europa electric trio. I don't know if they had
Like trucks with trio electrical. Yeah. No, they have this here, but like for parties, like carnivals, kind of, but it's not that big as we have in Brazil, and it's not very common. It's more like a small truck or pickup car, and then they have some speakers there, but it's not very common. No.
That's right.
Ariadne, what about you? You're muted.
Sorry, my internet bugged a little bit. For me, the image that comes in my mind is really associated with education because I studied in a public university here in São Paulo. Actually, in the how can I say? I forgot. Interior countries. In Bauru, in a city called Bauru. I studied there, and always had some strikes from teachers and students to have more rights and more quality. So for me, that image that comes in my mind related all with education.
Ricardo, what about you?
I think strike is so important tool, but nowadays the image is not so good, particularly in Brazil, because some people are using this tool, in my opinion, in the wrong way. So sometimes, particularly in my region, there are two main ways. One avenue on the beach, beside the beach, and the downtown, and the guys block the two ways, and the region is completely stopped. So I believe that's in strike. So my image is different from my reality, because I believe that is so important to achieve some goals. That's it.
Okay.
I should go to the next one, or you?
No, it's fine. That's great. Yeah, sometimes strikes are like in our way, so it's kind of annoying sometimes, but
Yeah.
that's life. So, what do you guys think is the main cause of strikes? Like, why people go on strikes and for what? What's the main cause?
I normally is more money, né? Is increase more money on salaries. Is, I believe that is the main cause. Certainly there are another reasons, but sometimes there are in the last years, maybe 20 years, the last 20 years, there are a lot of not exact strikes, but a lot of people are going out to the streets and request better public service and other things. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Demonstrations. Demonstrations is not the same thing as
Yeah.
strikes,
Exactly.
but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Essentially, in Brazil, we don't have strikes just in the public service, because I don't know, private companies is so much difficult, so much hard to employees request something, because the jobs are so few opportunities. So in this case, it's difficult nowadays. But there are some, just a few.
The last month we had a strike, and they are our company. Maybe it's a particular company. Many employees unsatisfaction about the salary, of course, and had a strike. I don't know if you saw. It's here in Brazil, and it's affect the travel that a lot of people know, because if the airplane air company stop the pilot, it's a problem, no? The recent strike here in Brazil, I think it's not a public service, no? That's it.
Yeah, but affect the public service, like because
Certainly.
the aircraft, they don't just carry people, they carry they are loaded with deliveries and things. So for example, the Correios use that companies to deliver things to people. So
Oh, okay. But the one I want to speak is, it's not servidor público, public service.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah, it's
understand?
not a public service.
Because it's very common when the public employee oh my God, employee public service is stopped. But in this moment, it's not happen the employee public service. It's on the private company.
Yeah, there were many strikes, air strikes here in Europe recently, France, Spain. So like in not just the aircrafts could the people like the pilots or the crew, but the people who use I don't know, watch the air area. I don't know.
Controllers.
Yeah, air controllers. Yeah, so no aircraft could cross that country. For example, France. If we were in I don't know, Spain, going to the UK, and the aircraft should cross the France airspace, I think
airspace maybe.
Yeah, airspace. So they couldn't, because there's no controllers working.
Yeah.
So it was affected a lot of countries. And anyway, I was traveling at the time. It was like a nightmare. It was a nightmare.
Yeah.
What I can do. Ariadne, for you, what's the main cause of strikes?
I think for me is dissatisfaction with something, as Ricardo said, salary or work conditions, or even the rights, the whole of states, or whole of the service. So I think it's dissatisfaction and related, I can say that, linked with the bad things that are not how can I say, for the demands for your own rights, actually, I think.
I agree with you. I think the working conditions is the main cause, and there is included better salary, because if you are working a lot and you don't have a fair pay, it's the working conditions like really bad. So, and sometimes the hours you're working, the amount of staff you have working with you, so people, it's not just the money, but when the money isn't worth the amount of work you were doing. So, and anyway, I think it's more like this. And when do you think strikes are unfair? Like people shouldn't be on strikes. Do you have any idea, Ariadne, for you? You think there's any possibility of strikes being unfair?
Maybe I will be a little bit polemic, but for me, strike is unfair when it's anti-democratic.
And one doubt, what is undemocratic strike for you? What do you understand about this?
For me, I believe in democracy as the majority people who want something, or who voted for something, or who, how can I say, the system we build it, I don't know how to explain, but is that political system democratic? So I think if you do something to be, how can I say this in Portuguese? Contrário, how can I say? Contra o sistema imposto. Yeah, thanks. Against the majority of people who voted in something. So for me, it's undemocratic. It's on strike.
Strike.
Actually, it's not in definition we saw in universities or other courses. We see that's not even a strike. Or actually, last year also had a strike with the aspas. I don't know how to say aspas. Had a strike of the donos de algumas empresas, owners of some enterprises, and that's it's not considered a strike too, because only employees can do strikes, not the owner of the, so it's o contrário, né? Não é a definição de strike, but people even are some people that call that.
Yeah, I think some things confuses us sometimes. Things are confusing us. Strikes and demonstrations. Demonstrations that you are manifesting you disagree with something, but when you stop working in a certain I don't know, section of the normal life, because you are dissatisfied, I don't know, with something that's not fair for everyone, or like you said, anti-democratic, and you are burdening other people's lives, I think is unfair as well. But manifesting your dissatisfaction, I'm very not sure
I think
about
it's
this.
unsatisfaction.
Yeah, sometimes someone said dissatisfaction, and I'm like confused now. With this, it's fine. It's 100% democratic. It's 100% fair, but you cannot stop a sector of the society because you don't agree with something the majority of people already agreed for some reason, And yes, I agree with you. Bruna, and for you, what's it when the strikes are unfair?
Well, I it's difficult. Like Ariadne said, maybe if the category want think that the need a fair pay or need more security to do your job, and the more people on the category category want to strike, I think it's so fair this, but if it's not the more people, it's unfair maybe. Like we about the democracy, if the no many people, I don't know, adhere for the strike, it's not efficace. Let me see. Active. I think effective. The strike, it's not effective. It's necessary a lot of people to strike for effective and achieve the goals to fair pay, for example.
Yeah, I was thinking this, like when some I don't want to talk about I don't want to say this word because people have a lot of prejudice against this word, but when the syndicates decide like go on a strike without consulting the workers who are the part of that syndicate, I think is wrong. Like you have to join or stick to that strike without being consulted. So I think it is not very, but there's not just the syndicates, but I'm using one word, but I know people hate syndicates in Brazil for some reason. I don't know why. They take our money, they don't do anything, but that's not the vision people have in other countries. That's a very Brazilian thing. And the people, they stick to the syndicates because the syndicates are looking after them. So maybe in
Yeah.
Brazil, they are not. And that's why we have this vision still about it. So, but Ricardo, for you, when do you strike, sir?
I believe that this situation is business is about is syndicate's fault, in my opinion, because I believe that it's not a good strategy. Sometimes, for example, well, in Brazil, essentially, as I told you, strikes come from public service, public workers. So sometimes, for example, they just simply block everything or stop a public service. In my opinion, I believe that is a better strategy if you let, for example, in the bus transportation, let everyone use this public service, but don't pay anything. So it's much better because part of this situation, well, it's not exactly this way, but essentially everyone is honored from this company because it's a public service. For example, a public transportation. So in this case, part of this part of this decision is come from the population. So I believe that if you can let the governance under pressure because the public opinion is pro public workers is much better. So, but normally it's not happen. Normally the guys stop the airports or stop the streets or stop the public transportation, as I told you. So I think that's these things let the public opinion con the public workers. I think is, in my opinion, that's it.
Yeah, I was a public service for many years, and I I don't know. Bruna is the same. And in Brazil, another thing it happens, people really look at us as like people don't work, people just want rights and doesn't want to work, don't want to work. You see this, Bruna. Like you just are claiming for many things and you're doing nothing because you just you cannot be fired. So people think we don't work. So, but if it is something working in any country, it's because the public servants are doing their job well. Sorry for this, but I think the vision of on public servants in Brazil has to change because we are. I'm not anymore, but I was part of this for many years. We are the people who are doing the basic job and make this country is still alive, so or any country. So I think the vision we have to change, because public servants are lazy. They don't like to work. They don't work. They just asking for many things. Do you hear things like that, Bruna?
All the time.
It's
And especially my
unfair.
family.
It's not unfair because we work a lot. We don't work a
Yeah,
lot.
this is unfair. That's it. I don't know. I sometimes I know many public workers that don't work, but it's not all public work.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
one minority. Like some people
Yes, that's
but
it.
the majority of people,
it's-
they work a lot. A lot.
Yes, because maybe you don't have a lot of work to do.
That's all.
The
Works enough.
Yes, the enough to public service for all people, no, in the country. I think sometimes it's difficult to attend the 2 3 person at the same time. That's it.
Well,
But I work a lot. Oh my gosh, at home and the present.
Yes, I was working for council, prefeitura, and I myself used to look after 14 schools, just me. So, and I did my job as well as I could, like, because of course there's a limit for a person, but one nutritionist for one entire city, so that it should have at least more 3 people working with me, just at least 4, but there was one. That's what's happening in Brazil. So you think, you don't do enough because we can't do it. It's unhuman. There's a limit, and normally they pay the minimum minimum hours, like you anyway. We do as much as you can. The majority of people, of course, always they are always the lazy ones in any company, private or public. So I really don't like this vision about, because the things like everybody is lazy, but many things is working. Many are working in Brazil because public servants are doing their job really well, more than they should do.
That's it.
Anyway.
And especially in healthy area, no, it's terrible.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, nurses here as same thing. You have a public health system. They work a lot. They work 12, 14, 16, 20 hours a day.
Yeah.
So
I have a good experience in my region that are a city neighbor from my city. Unfortunately, and Santos is a good services, health services. So I became very impressed about the service, the installation, the everything. But I noticed a lot of people complain about the exams, because they just schedule for a long time, and but it happens in private service too. When you have secure, and sometimes it takes 30 days or more. So in this case, I in my opinion is a so good experience, and I became very satisfied. Not me exactly, but my father. That's weird. My father have health secure, but he like to use the public service on Santos. That's it's show like the services are good in Santos, because he prefer the public service than private service.
I think we have a lot of work overloaded, sobrecarregado, and because we are still in 8 hours per day, but our system, this 8 hours per day was in an industrial time, you know. Actually, in industrial was 12 hours and then 10 and then 11 and 8. But our technology developed a lot. But now, and our work, our time to work isn't less than the past. We have to work more than in the past because of this structure. We have more demand. I think what you, Etam, said about public system happens a lot in private system too. I worked in an enterprise that had 2 guys that didn't do anything or did the minimal thing, you know, and 2 others we were like with a lot of things, doing most of things. It was terrible, and I think this happens in all the world, you know. It's so terrible.
Yeah, I know more lazy people here than in Brazil, like when I was a public servant, because I work for the private company, and the immigrants working there, they work a lot, they rock it, but the English people, they do nothing. they are very lazy. They do things very slowly. They talk a lot. They just hang around and faffing about, you know. And the immigrants like me is just so in Brazil, my vision, or any company I work here, the immigrants work a lot, much more than the English people, much more, because
Maybe afraid for to lose the work or what? What do you think?
maybe this, or maybe the way we do things is more effective. So I started this company in December. I moved jobs, and was 25 people temporary, and I was one of them. I was the only one was hired after my contract was renewed. The only one, and there were like many English people. I was the only one who was hired after, because I was working like I wish to work in Brazil, you know, like doing well. They have the work done, like it's different. I don't know, but maybe because we want to prove ourselves somehow, because we are in another country and you have to you unconsciously. You have to show you what you worth it, you know. Maybe that's it, but yeah, English people are very lazy normally. Polish people, they work as they are machines. I've never seen some people working like Polish people. They work, they look like machines working. It's like, it's really nice. Somehow they are fast and they are very, very effective. I really like them, and they are funny. So how does that's me I will, okay, I skip for the number 8 and then I come back to that. If your colleagues are going to strike, but you disagree with taking that action, what would you do? Like Ariadne, in your job, like your colleagues are saying, no, we are going to strike, but you disagree for some reason. What do? You wouldn't take part? You would be the only person there working, or you would go with the flow?
Oh, my internet's bugging. Why I disagree with them? But okay, I disagree. I don't know why. I disagree. I don't know what I should do. Maybe, I don't know if I would work too. Maybe stay home. I don't know, because I think it's really difficult, because for some reason they're going to, but I don't know if I will work to, I don't know, it's so complicated, this question. I don't know how to answer. Maybe trying to convince them and try to understand before making a decision, you know, trying to talk with them to understand better and to convince something, I don't know.
So I don't know as well, but I think I wouldn't be a strike breaker, because
Neither do I.
like to be I'm going to work like just you. I don't know if that's fair with anyone, and with you, because you will look like a brown nose.
Yeah.
Puxa saco. Or if but
Brown
I think
nose.
brown nose, or if you but I would say to them, I disagree for this, and these reasons. I wouldn't be like quiet, because it's
Yeah.
not fair. Like, I disagree, but guys, okay, it's like democratic if the majority of people, the most of people agree with
Yeah.
this, but sometimes you have personal um
Points.
thoughts. Yeah, or reasons, I would say, reasons too. Anyway, Bruna, what would you do?
Well, I think if you are a democratic strike, no, and I disagree with the case. For example, explanation for my case, I don't agree. I disagree for this, and I think I will be to work normally. Maybe I slowly something the work, but I think my point is more important, because I disagree for the cause. I think it's not true. It's not good. Uh, I participate for the strike that I disagree, and I'm not make things for me. That's it.
But don't you think it's dangerous?
Well, in my case, no. I have never participated for the strike, and
Mhm.
my category have a strike. Let me see. I think twice, but nothing. Everybody strike. No, nothing. I've never see. I have never seen. So everybody strike in public service, for example. Eh, I think I didn't have a problem when I work to very normally. But for example, I don't know, and here when the teacher stop striking, it's a problem because they don't allow for the other for the teacher uh, into to the school move out. This I think it's a problem. It's danger. Maybe it's a danger for in the public service. It's not common.
Yeah. What do you usually do sometimes when they just have some strikes in my department? We say, okay, I don't agree. What you would do is like 5 people disagreed, and like, what do you do? Like, okay, we are getting turns to work, so just to don't be the breaker, but like, okay, I work today and you work tomorrow. I work many less hours. We had some agreements, to then
In essential services
yes,
necessary, it's impossible to everybody stop the
it's
work.
illegal. It's illegal.
Yes, that's it. It's illegal. It's only it's a law only 33%.
10%.
I think.
Yeah. I think you have to keep 30% of people working at least. Yeah, I think so. And you, Ricardo, what would you do?
Oh, yeah, that's uncomfortable situation because sometimes you I think it's like staying under pressure, but I think essentially the people have became afraid about your jobs. Né? Oh, if I is fired, so is just a little easier when you work as a public worker because you have some stability. But in the private companies, it's difficult. So I think is syndicate's job, in my opinion. I think is in this case the syndicate have to work to avoid this thing. Even if you don't have any problems and the workers reach the goal, sometimes you became how do you say, mal visto for the owners. So, oh, that's okay. You achieve these goals this time, but in the future, maybe could you occur some problem? Oh, I have to fire this guy because I have problem in my company, but there is another reason behind. Oh, this guy is help the company, help the strikers in that time. So I think is the best option is let the syndicate work and avoid these things. That's it.
So yeah. But for example, you say about the private companies, it's more unlikely happen strikes, but here many like people is not afraid of being fired because when you are in a group, and how can a private company hire all this workforce again with the same experience? If you are on a strike, you need to keep your staff, you cannot just hire fired everyone. That's why I think strikes many times worse. But for example, the Royal Mail here is our correio in Brazil is private, 100% private. It's not from the government, and they strike at Christmas time. So the Christmas cards are being delivered just now. It was like a nightmare. It was a nightmare because many deliveries from other countries, many people, and they strike and they got like what they wanted, because the company cannot. It is illegal. The company just fire everyone, and for the company, it's not. It's not smart. You just fire everyone, and you have. How can you hire everyone again with the same amount of experience, of the same amount of knowledge of that company? So I think it is private companies should be more afraid of strikes than public service, because they really can lose their employees. So that's why that's something about I was saying before, being a lot of prejudice against public servants. That's not very realistic, I would say. The last question to I don't know, I don't think you have time enough. Oh, it's already 10 a.m. for you guys. Yeah.
No,
So,
8.
yeah.
It's 9 and 10.
Yeah. 10.
Number 10, it's so good, no? For finish.
Yeah. So I didn't see the time going. The time flew away.
All
That's
right.
good. Yeah, it's a very interesting topic, I think, because the opinions are very crunchy, I would say, and sparkly. So I don't agree to all with strikes. Like it affect me a lot. How you said in your Ariadne, when you were in the university, how that affect your life at the time, the strikes of teachers and everything.
For me, it cost almost 6 months later of university, but I know at the time was really bad. My parents was like crazy. Oh, you moving to another, but for the university and even for me, we conquer a lot. We had the university restaurant, we have better teachers, we have a lot, we conquer a lot. So I know that affect me was almost 6 months later, but for me, I think it was the best thing happened, and I used that time to work, to develop my French, to conquer exchange to France, and I see how class consciousness was so different about in Brazil. Because
Wow,
here,
the French people, they are really good on strikes.
yeah,
they had the best. They are wow. Yeah.
Every week had something. Every week I had a problem to getting a place, but I know this is for the best of majority. I know it was the best for have better conditions of work. Here in Brazil happens a thing that we call uberização de trabalho. We call that because I had informal work. Like I had the university, I have university, I have other specialization. I don't know how to say, but even works is worse, we are not formal. We are not CLT anymore. It's so difficult nowadays to be CLT. So, and these informal jobs is increasing a lot here in Brazil. That's why we don't do strikes. That's why we don't go and demand our rights. It's so difficult here to be like my dream is to have the conscience as people have in France, as people have in UK, but we don't have these conditions.
And another thing about you said CLT, when we are public servants, the only right you have is the stability, nothing else.
Yeah,
we don't have if we decide we can be fired for some reason, of course it's more difficult, but you don't have FGTS, you don't have seguro-desemprego, you have nothing, but the only thing keeps you there is the stability, like so we get earn something, but you lose things as well being a public servant. And it's very difficult to get in. The exams are very difficult to pass.
I'm gonna do another in March. I'm studying. It's so difficult. But okay, let's go.
Anyway, thank you guys. Thank you very much for this conversation. Thank you, Ariadne. Thank you. For the first time you in my meeting. I
was
really appreciate
second,
it.
I think.
Yeah, sorry, my memory's not very good.
No problem.
So thank you very much, guys. See you guys in the
Thank you.
next
Have a
week.
nice day.
You
Thank
too.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks, Adam.